Alright, so continuing with design, this is a really quick lesson. If you are going to start designing backgrounds, I would suggest you use reference, unless you're a great layout person and you can do architecture and all that stuff. But most of us aren't. If you're creating new worlds, also use reference. It's not cheating or anything, but I will always use a reference because I can't think of big designs like a city or whatnot. And also what you want to do is you want to create a schematic of the area, so when you're planning out your shots, when you're doing your layout, you know where to put your camera, and you can imagine how the shot would look if you use schematics. And it also good so you could put your characters in certain places and you know how far away from the wall they are, or how far away from the door, or the geometry of the room. All those are good when you're doing layouts. Uh, Me, myself personally, I would start with an image and I would trace it. I can't do this whole tracing right now because this would take a really long time to trace. And I won't do one of those fast forward videos because I personally don't like them. But if I was going to design something, I'd start off with a trace of it and then build upon that. I would probably have taken the photos myself, but this is a photo I found online. And you remember vanishing points, horizon lines. Not too sure where this vanishing point would be. I'd have to start laying down lines and map it out. And I would do a lot better at tracing over this. And since I'm pressed for time, just trying to get the gist of it. And I would sometimes even take the color schematic of the image itself and just use that palette. And from there you can tint it in Photoshop, or if you're painting it by hand, you can choose a different palette when it fits your show or the cut. Just remember your midground, your foreground, and your background. Don't necessarily keep them on different layers if you don't want to, but it's a good idea if you do. When you're doing this, you can remove elements, like I won't be drawing those cars in the parking lot, but you do have to imagine what's behind those cars, like the ground, like where the ground is. Guidelines would be very suitable right now. I should have laid them out first, but since I'm in a kind of a rush to get this done, I won't be painting this right now. Maybe if I have time I'll come back and I'll do another video. I'll start painting. But as you can tell, lots of environments are just made up of lines. Curves, triangles, rectangles. And this goes all the way. This sends a link to the background. So I'm not really gonna do all this. But you get the idea, hopefully. So you can take something like this and you could make a schematic. It doesn't have to actually be totally correct, but you might want to try to be as accurate as you can be. So let's say, for instance, you know that this will be your car park. Or your garage, depending on where you live. Next to it is a smaller store. Maybe it's a little longer. And next to that is another store over here. Maybe it's just a little square shop. And way back here, it's a bridge. So you want to draw the bridge. Possibly indicate these sidewalks. They're kind of weird, these sidewalks. It's like they break up and there's little alleys back here. So maybe I want to indicate that there's an alley here. Now I'm just labeling these right now because I just want to show you ways of doing this. I'm not the best. You can indicate the road. Maybe you have a little legend on the top. I don't really know where you can put it, but a legend, and that could equal road lines. As you go across the street, there's more shops over here, and I'm sure there's shops over here as well, off on the side, across the street. This is interesting right here, because there's like a hill. It looks like you can see it here. See all the wheels of the car? You can't really see. Looks like there's a hill over there. So you could indicate that as well if you want to. Maybe draw a line. Say it's a hill. And, just shops at this end. And you do this so you know where your characters are at any given time in the scene, or in the cut. So if you place the camera here, and the character's over here, you know that the camera and the shot could be here, and the character, let's say, is over here. Even though it would be in front of him, the camera. But we're looking at the character from the side, I guess, from the back. So, if you want to be accurate, you can do something like that. So that is a crash course in schematics and how to do background